Hey, Raindrops. On today's episode of Reality with the King, I'm back. Raindrops, I keep telling you guys, you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alexis looks so gorgeous
Oh my
today. If
God.
you're not watching on YouTube, let me paint the picture. She has long blonde tresses. She has on a icy blue blazer, jewelry. I'm assuming it's an a white tank top, and the face is always stunning, but you look good.
Okay, well, you'll know why next week.
You know, the thing is this, Alexis, you keep teasing it week by week. 2 weeks ago, it was next week. Last week, it was this week. So this week is next
I,
week?
I'm keeping you all on your toes. Yes, it'll be next week.
Are you sure?
Well, we'll see.
I'll text Spencer. Spencer is Alexa's handler.
Everything goes through him. I mean, Johnny would get jealous, except he's gay, so it's okay. I always tell him, I'm like, Spencer, you're my second husband. And then John just like is in the background, like rolling his eyes. Because I've got to call Spencer as soon as I find out anything.
You're like, Spencer, is this really happening? What's going on here? Yes.
Oh yeah.
So we are here to recap episode 3, season 20 of The Real Housewives of Orange County. I have a lot of thoughts, but
Oh.
I do.
Okay.
It may not, listen, you and I are so good at this because we don't give a shit if our thoughts are popular or unpopular. It's just our thoughts, and oftentimes we agree.
We do. I actually like when we don't agree though, because you give me food for thought about your perspective. And it's like, that's why the show is so good, is because
Yeah.
somebody watching, in one household and someone watching in another, they have completely two different takes on the scene that just happened. So it's just cool. And I just hope that everyone realizes that we're literally not bad people. We're just giving an opinion, and it's just for one episode. It doesn't mean we think it all the time, but yeah,
Yeah.
I like when we agree and I like when we don't agree.
Yes, no, listen, it's food for thought. It's the reason why people love watching us and listening to us as well. So let's get into it. One of the scenes that I really wanted to talk to you about first is the scene between Jen and Ryan. Um,
Wow, you're skipping like three other scenes. You're going straight for that one?
you want to just okay? No, let's listen. Um, how about we have you started because I struggled with this episode as I'm struggling trying to.
Interesting. Tell me why, because I wonder if it's the same reason I did. It's
Well,
kind
it's
of
the reason
boring.
why it's the reason why I skipped 3 scenes because this episode was boring.
Okay, well, it's funny because I was gossiping with one of my best friends and said that right before this episode, or this right before we started podcasting. So you thought it was boring. I thought it was too. However, I mean, I don't remember the first three. There were three scenes before that one, I think. One, two, but I don't really
It
remember them
was.
that great. But anyway, so you just skipped right to the third scene. So this is going to be a really fast podcast. We're going to be out of here in like 22 minutes.
Look, Alexis, I did not realize you would notice that I skipped over a couple of scenes, but the one scene I will give a shout out. It was nice to see Tamra and her daughter, Sophia, right?
Yes.
Move out, move in, boyfriend. That was nice.
That's hard. That's the empty nester. Like, and I'm starting to feel it because two of mine left me at the same time. One's going to college and one just got married and lives on his own now. But so I have one left, and when Miles leaves, I'm going to be like, oh my. I mean, that's hard. But you're right. I mean, it wasn't boring. That scene wasn't boring to me because I love seeing inside her home, any of the housewives'
Yeah.
homes, lives. But yeah, that was a scene, and then I forget what the other scene. There's another scene, and then the Ryan and Jen scene. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was one with Shannon and something, but I don't think we
Okay.
need to worry about that.
Okay. Yeah.
But listen, because the thing is this, I wanted to at least start the pod on a good note
Okay.
because it may not end up that way.
Oh. Well, Carlos, you're on a track record for that. Okay. Two episodes we're bagging on Heather. Last episode, I forget, but it's like, okay.
No, last episode we both agreed that Carmela was a great new
Amazing.
housewife.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Well, we
and
we have to get into the dildo of all that this episode, but go ahead. Let's go.
I
Let's
know
get Jen and Ryan.
as I'm vibrating in my chair as we speak. So, Carmela, send me one to my PO box. Okay, so look, one of the,
Okay, I'm gonna just
Okay,
not go
I'm just
there
saying I
with
accept all
that.
swag. Now, the thing that I will continue to say, it was not on my bingo card, Alexis Jansen, that Jen is my favorite so far this season.
Okay,
And
I love this. Why?
the reason why I'm saying that, she is providing personal story that feels genuine, that is real. Um, she's not playing to the camera. She's not trying to make a moment. She's really offering her real life. And I will say these past three episodes, my eyes are glued on Jen, and I feel like Jen is operating in her most authentic self. So when she's talking to Ryan about her son Grayson, I believe that's his name.
Huh?
Um, how he got a ticket. He was speeding over 100 miles per hour, and he's only a teenager. And she's sort of like, I feel like he's acting out. And then Ryan said, "Look, I feel like because his dad is not around, that's probably why he feels the way he feels." And to see how Jen immediately started crying, and listen, we could honestly continue focusing on the rest of her storyline in this episode
Yeah.
because it was so layered to me. Um, Even when she was talking to Grayson and how he admitted that the divorce took a toll on him because he went from having his parents home with him 7 days a week to not seeing his father frequently. And I lost it. I lost it. And I wanted to talk to you because you obviously experienced divorce. And I wanted to know, based on you watching the scene, could you relate to that?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I cried. I did have
Yeah.
actual tears when Jen was talking to her son. And I do, let me back up to when they first, when their first scene. I did like how authentic she is this season. I do like that she's kind of being the bulldog since Tamara's pulled back, obviously. It feels like Jen is now the one that's stepping it up to move storyline and such. But the one thing that I caught is Ryan called out the truth of what he thought and what he saw as the stepdad. And Jen was like, no, it's not. That's not what it is. He's just a teenager going through. And that's what moms think. You know, you don't know unless you talk to your kid what's really bothering them. Um, and so I thought, wow, Ryan's really involved in these children's lives and is very receptive and aware of what's going on. And then when Jen said no, but then she hears from Grayson himself, yeah, I mean, I don't see my dad. You know, that's there's two parts to that. It takes two to tango. So the dad should be reaching out to his son and spending more time with his kids. I would think if I like I'm like with Ryan, I'm like if I didn't kiss my kids goodnight, it kills me when they leave me for one day. You know, it's like and now they're moving out. So I don't know what I've got to find and pick up pickleball or something. But anyway, so I
Mhm.
feel like for Jen to have that scene with Grayson, like first of all, for him to open up like that on camera, a lot of kids would have said, "No, mom, I don't want to talk about it right now. Let's talk about it tonight." He was really authentic and raw too. And then it makes you wonder for me, because I'm from a divorced family, my parents, and also I'm now divorced with my children, it makes me wonder like, how much more did it affect my kids than the talks that we've had? You know? And it made me feel so guilty, like she felt. I had mom guilt out the wazoo. I was like, holy heck, now I want to sit my kids down when they're all in different places right now, but when we have to sit down, I want to be like, what did how did it affect you? How did it damage you? Like, because they were all in therapy and I was very present and I got them full time. So I was kind of in the same shoes as Jen. But man, did you tear up on that
I
scene?
did. I listen, and the reason why I love it so much is because look, I am a single gay black man, and I'm not a parent, so it's not relatable to me in terms of my life. However, it goes to show you how universally these type of storylines can affect anybody watching it because to see Jen talk to her son about it, and I will give him so much credit being a 17-year-old kid who admitted to pretty much, he didn't use these words. I don't want to, I'm not going to use the word, but people are being unkind to him, is what he said. So I
Uh-huh.
don't want to use the B word,
I know.
in all fairness. So
Good,
he
good
said
idea.
that people were unkind to him. And I thought how brave that was because you may assume that those kids would watch this scene. and perhaps unfortunately use that to weaponize him.
Hmm.
Um, and to see Jim break down because, and again, I'm not a mother or father, so I really, really couldn't wait to talk to you about it. It must be tough for a mother to hear from her son that people are unkind to me when, like she said, you're the most kindest human on earth. And you could tell by his sweet spirit, his sweet
Oh, you could
soul,
tell. Yeah.
right? Right,
You could tell he
Alexis?
he doesn't have any cockiness to him. He's got no aggro, no like, I mean, teenagers go through their hormones and they're up and down and they have their bad moods and you don't know why and all that, but you can see his spirit through him. And
Mhm.
for moms, most moms, I'm not going to say every mom because sometimes dads get the full kids full time and sometimes it's the other way, the flip side. Most moms who have their children and are a very a parent that's there for them, like completely their person. Um, every agony that they feel, it could be a pimple that's driving them crazy and they're embarrassed about the pimple. The mom feels that like 10 times more for that kid. So when your kids are hurting about kids that are unkind or a scenario at school or like even a speeding ticket, like, yeah, Jen probably was scared. Like he could have died. That's a
Yeah.
very easy way to die. And so, but then for Jen to be like, but there's so much more pain going on in my kid. I should not have made a big deal about the speeding ticket. That's a true mom feeling too. And it really, you kind of get the feeling though, Carlos, because you have dogs. So if your dog gets injured, like last week, your dog had a foot problem. It makes you we were late on our
Yeah.
pod because you were worried about your dog. That's a kid to you. So you
Yeah.
kind of get the feeling it's exemplified more once you have somebody that comes out of your body. But yeah, I just felt so for that scene. That was just kudos to both of them for doing that. I hope he doesn't regret doing that at 17 and
Yeah.
being that authentic on camera because you don't know how his peers are going to react to
Yeah.
that. But good job and good job, Jen, for, she started crying and then he had to parent her a little bit, which makes him a little bit parentified, which kids do feel because I felt that with my parents. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that went into that. And the whole time I was literally tearing up the whole time.
Oh, it pulled my heartstrings. It really did. So shout out to Jen, Grayson, and Ryan. Like you said, listen, and the beautiful thing
Good
about Ryan,
stepfather. Good stepfather. I'm telling you, I don't care what anyone wants to say about him. That guy, I mean, hello. And they named their cat Johnny J. So I mean, that must be a really freaking cool cat, okay? I mean, if you name your dog Bieber or your cat J Lo, I get it. But I mean, Johnny J's cool as fuck, and so that cat must be too. I get it. But anyway, I whatever anyone wants to say around Ryan, because he does get some slack sometimes. That man has shown up for those kids, and you cannot take that away from him. And the way that they all act together, I mean, I love all of that. All of that.
yes, yes, yes. I'm here with you when it comes to that. And shout out to Ryan. I echo your same sentiment. He got a lot of negative flack the first season that he was a part of the show. And look, I wasn't there, so I don't know much, but what I will say to you as a parental figure in their lives, allowing his fiance and her children to move in with him and for him to see exactly what the problem was, it goes to show you he has a relationship with those kids and he sees it and he's a great father figure. So again, Jen, to me, whatever you're doing, Jen, keep doing it. I have nothing bad to say about you. Now Heather Dubrow does. Um,
Well, I mean, rightly so. They both have a reason to have a little bit of a beef with each other. I mean, so
well, here we are with that. So Heather meets with Emily, right? So Heather meets with Emily, and Heather feels like she may want to take a step back from Jen due to Jen telling Tamra the things that Heather was saying behind Tamra's back. Look, I think the thing with Heather is she doesn't like being called out, especially in front of people that she talks about behind their backs. And look, no one else does, right? So in all fairness, I wouldn't either. But that's why I like to say it to your face and not behind your back, hence me having a podcast where I get to say it to the world. So there's no misunderstanding there. But do you think it's warranted, Alexis, for Heather to want to take a step back from Jen due to Jen only saying to Tamra, "Hey, this is what Heather is saying, and I want to get down to the bottom of it together."
well, I mean, okay, if I'm being real, because that's what we do on this podcast, well, that's what I do in real life anyways. But if I were in Heather's shoes, I would probably have taken a little bit further with Jen and said, why did you feel like you could just do that? Or what provoked you to do that? Because we all kind of sit behind each other's backs. I mean, they all do. I mean, if anyone
Hmm.
sits there and says they don't complain or whine about something that happened on one of the scenes they filmed or one of this or one of that, then they're all lying because they all do it. However, there's nothing wrong with Jen calling it out because I would kind of be in that shoes also. I would be like, I'm sick of hearing about it. And she's not addressing it directly with Tamra. Why don't you go to Tamra? Go to who you're, and you guys talk it out. Don't do it to me and behind my back and vent to us all about it. So I can kind of see where Jen was coming from. And I can see why Heather would be like, okay, well, I'm a little bit, are you becoming the next Tamra? Are you now being the pot stirrer? So I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think this. I think two things can be true. Like I said, in Heather's defense, no, you don't want anybody you're having an intimate conversation with go back and tell the person you're talking about
Carlos,
what
that
they
was not
said.
intimate. They were at a dinner with six or four girls. That's not intimate. That's not a one-on-one where you go out for a beignet and say, "Can we have a little chit chat?" And I'm really got to get something off my chest, and please keep this off record. That is not what happened. They were at a dinner after shooting a 10-hour freaking hardest day of your life, which the reunions are, having a couple cocktails and venting, and everyone's ganging up and venting. That's not an intimate moment.
Well, look, the first time I'm trying to help Heather.
Well, I don't mean it like that. I'm not saying it because it's against Heather. I'm just saying it's like that's nothing intimate about that. If you think one of those four girls you're bitching up to are not going to go back and tell somebody something, okay, then maybe one martini too espresso martini too many. I don't know, but no. I mean, you and especially after just getting off of the reunion, when you've just sat there and bagged on each other for 10 straight hours with three breaks and no alcohol, and you're just sitting there like shooting crap that's happened all for 8 months of your life. Oh, please. It's gonna get back. It's gonna get
Damn,
back somehow.
Alexis.
Somehow. Or maybe one of the waitresses in the restaurant would have DM'd Tamara and said, "You have no idea, girlfriend. They were just totally bagging on you this whole dinner. All I heard was,
Oh, guess what? Speaking of DMs, I got a DM
oh, oh, just
from
one. I doubt that's just one.
no, no, I got a DM from a raindrop they wanted me to read to you.
Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, shicks. Is it good or bad? Is
I'm
if
gonna
it's
read it.
no, if it's good, read it. If it's bad, don't read it.
I want to read it.
Oh God. Let me put my seatbelt on and maybe I should go get a
Speaking of DMs, Alexis Jan said, I
okay.
got a
Well,
DM
why didn't they just DM me and put and tell me to my face?
because they're a raindrop.
So I'm a
So they like
I'm
to
a
talk to
I'm a
me.
raindrop sidekick. We can't your DM the raindrop sidekick?
So I'm gonna give her a shout out. Shout
Okay.
out to my beautiful raindrop, Kimberly Ann.
Okay. Hi,
Okay.
Kimberly.
Kimberly Ann said, I just love our fans. I gotta say that, Alexis. We have great fans. Okay. Hey Carlos, I'm listening to your podcast with Alexis today, recapping Orange County. Please tell Alexis that Tamra does listen to your podcast because she referenced it today on Two T's in a Pod, saying
Ah,
saying something you said about Angie K's divorce. So please tell Alexis that I love you. I love her. I just wanted to let Alexis know it's true. Thank you.
ah, thanks. Well, you know what's funny? Thank you, Kimberly Ann. Okay. You know what's funny is after Tamara heard that podcast, she texted me or called me and goes, "I do listen to this one because I you mentioned something because we chat." And so she's like, I don't even listen to my own podcast, but I did listen to that one. So what did Tamara reference?
So it was me and Monica Garcia was recapping um ANGK from Salt Lake City
Oh,
divorce. But I will say this. I will say this because I'm fair. I'm fair. I'm fair. Thank you,
yeah.
Kimberly Ann. I will say that um it was a social clip that I posted about it. So in Tamara's defense, Tamara could have just saw the social clip on
Yeah, well,
Instagram.
she did she did she did. It is true that she did listen to at least one or two of ours because she did text me or call me and say, I did listen to the podcast that you just said I don't listen to podcasts about, but I listened to that one. And I was like, oh, okay, yay.
Yes, we love you, Tam Tam.
Wait, this is the
Um,
other one.
we love you, girlfriend. Okay, so back to Heather and Emily. In this scene, Emily brings up a birthday party. She does talk about Carmela. And in this scene, she questions if Carmela, who she alleged kept saying to her, are you going to open gifts? Are you going to open gifts? And she didn't. So when she went home, she did open up the gift and she saw that it was a Dior bag. And she was happy with that. And then she also saw it was a vibrator. But Emily is questioning if Carmela did that because she wanted the clout of showing what she brought to her.
Okay. So at first, before I found out about the vibrator, I did think, oh, she just wanted to show off that she got a really expensive gift when the other girls might have got her a candle, whatever. But, and also, I'm kind of torn about that. When I have my birthday celebrated, I don't really want to open all my gifts in front of everybody. I get it for a baby shower or a bridal shower. That's different. It's a moment that's you're creating bow wreaths and things like this and doing all these traditions. But for a birthday, I don't really like to open gifts or to sit and watch my girlfriend open up 20 gifts either. I just don't.
Yeah.
So I get why Emily did not want to do that. However, I thought after I watched the whole scene, I think Carmela was excited about the fact that she put a gag gift in there, which I think now is hysterical. And so I'm like, no, she wanted everyone to laugh and be like, oh, what a beautiful clutch. And then Emily opens it up to see the inside, and then oh, there's a vibe. And Emily's like, what the heck? That would have been a funny moment to make all the girls laugh. You're sitting there dressed up as 80-year-old women. Would have been a funny freaking scene. So I get why Carmela was like, are you going to open it up? At first, I did agree that Emily was like, is she just doing this because she wants to say, look, I bought the best gift in the room? But then after you watched Carmela's scene when she was
Yeah.
thinking about it, that's when I understood behind the scenes like what Carmela was thinking, which is hysterical that her 17-year-old daughter's found 8 vibrators at her mom's house. Oh my God, my kids would die.
I know. And I only
Vibrator,
own,
by the way. I do
so
not. I do
I was going
not.
to ask you, how many do you own?
None. Zero. The only one I ever did own was when it was given to me as a gift and it went in the trash. So I'm not a
Why?
vibrator girl. I'm just not a vibrator girl.
Oh,
I'm just not. No. And I'm married. You don't need that.
you got the real deal. You got the
Nothing
real
better than that.
deal.
You just say, okay, move on. PG, kids listen.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. Okay. So I actually agree with you. And for me, I don't know.
What?
It it annoyed me a bit because I felt like Emily was just starting something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Alexis? And I'm like, there's so much other things happening really around you girls that to here it is. I feel like one of the issues happening with reality television is I feel like it's hard sometimes for some women to just be in the moment. And I think they feel like everything's calculated. Instead of just being like this woman, first of all, Carmela has money. And and she
I
also
don't think she's a bragger about it though either. Do you think she's
no
out bragging? I don't think she. So I don't think so. That's why I kind of side-eyed when Emily said she was just trying to show off and show I have money. I'm like, I don't really feel like I don't get that vibe. For other housewives, I do. I don't get that vibe from Carmela. So I didn't agree with that. But yeah, I wondered your take on that. So
no, I agree with you. She's not a bragger. I feel like listen, there's certain housewives, and you know this being on the show, that are great gift givers.
yeah.
They're known to really
But
bring great gifts.
that's in life in general, though. That's in
I was
life
gonna
in
say
general.
that
Like you
too.
can
Yeah.
think about which grandma gives you a good gift and which grandma tried really hard and doesn't. Like I mean, it's just some people are really gifted with that gift giving, trait, and I'm kind of in the middle. Sometimes I really hit the nail on the head, and sometimes I flub. I'm like, okay, well, that was not what they wanted. Anyway, so I don't blame anybody for not being a great gift giver as long as you put some thought into it.
Yeah, but like I said, I agree with you 1,000%. I think she wanted to show Emily, and listen, maybe, and yes, for TV purposes, show the vibrator to really show like I don't take myself too seriously. Like I'm a fun girl, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I thought that Emily was just not. living in the moment and she wanted to find something to bring up as a storyline.
She doesn't have
And
exactly. You just nailed it. You
yeah.
just nailed it. She doesn't have a storyline. What's she supposed to do? Plus, maybe Carmela was like, since you probably don't have a ton of sex, here you go. This will help you out later. I don't know. Possibly. I don't know. It's another, and then Terry's joke about it was the funniest one ever. Terry's joke when he goes, if you don't like my gift, go F yourself.
Oh, it was perfect.
Do that off the cuff that fast. That was really freaking fast and off. Like, I'm just like, God, he is just so funny. He's
Terry's
a funny
great.
dude. And that's in life too. In real life, he is that witty and funny.
Oh, you could tell, listen, which is kind of like whatever. I love Terry DeBro. I think I love Botch. I love I think
That,
he's a great TV personality.
yes. Yes,
He's
I agree.
he's more entertaining than okay.
Oh,
So
ooh,
let's
move
move
on.
on. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Now, I want to get your thoughts on Vicky's lunch with Gina and Jen. In this scene, Gina is questioning whether or not she should get a prenup. As we know, she's engaged. And to Travis, this will be her second marriage. She is telling Vicky, who you know cares about women making money and being
Yeah.
independent. She's like, look, I have come into my own, and I'm just trying to figure out whether or not she get a prenup. Obviously, Vicky's like, yes, bitch, get a prenup. I'll say this much, and this could be very unpopular, and I'm okay with it. I think it the for me, I think is whatever works for the individual. Like if you and your man are okay with it, do it. If you're not okay with it, don't do it. I feel uncomfortable telling couples what they should do for their own marriage. Me
I
personally.
I mean, I don't have I don't think it's telling couples what they should do with their marriage. I think everyone can have their own opinion about it. And this is kind of to me one of those things like I'm a Missouri girl from Missouri originally, and I don't know. I feel like with all of my marriages, when I married the first guy, it was college sweetheart, and we were only together for a year, and we had nothing. We were broke college kids with nothing, so no reason for a prenup. Second one, I'm like, I'm not going to sign a prenup because it just is saying we're going to get divorced. In my mind, I'm like, we're going to get divorced. Wouldn't sign a prenup. Said we can stay engaged forever, or we're not doing one. Didn't do one. Third marriage with Johnny, I still feel the same way. I felt like, and I know everyone was telling both of us get prenups, do this, do that. I just felt like when it came down to it, it's like I feel like it's setting your marriage up for the fact that you think you're going to get a divorce. If you don't love this guy or woman and you're not all in my opinion, it's like, then why are you even thinking about marriage? If I don't trust Johnny that when we get divorced, he's going to do the right stuff with our money, and we both know how much we had coming into the marriage, we both know what we both do to provide new work. We don't, it's just like, he's going to take care of my kids. I'm going to take care of his kids. You know what I mean? It's like we're not going to hurt each other, but we also aren't looking at like we're going to get a divorce in 5 years. You're just not. So, but I also can see from other people's perspective where they would want to, especially with the people that were harping on John and I to both go do it. And we thought about it for about 10 seconds, and then we were like, we're just not going to do it. So,
Let me ask you this. In your second marriage, um, did did your ex-husband in your reality, you felt like did the right thing?
well, yeah, because I mean, neither of us, when we first got married, I'm not having 3 kids with somebody thinking I'm going to break up, the marriage is going to end someday. I'm just not. We were not in that mind space. But I was also okay at that time. I was ready to have children too, and I just said, look, we can just stay engaged. I mean, we don't. I'm not going to get married to you if there's a prenup involved, because that's pretty much saying you want to have the 75% statistic in California. I know it's 50 in the world, but it's 75% in Cali or this area. I'm like, if you want to fall into that lump of people, I'm just not going to do it. So then we'll just stay engaged. And yes, I'll still have children with you. Yes, we can still move in together. And so that's kind of where I really believed in that. I'm like, I'm not gonna go before God and say I do just to think I'm gonna get a divorce. And what are we gonna do with all the money at that point? And it just gives me the bad feeling, and it just sets in my mind. And I know I'm not popular in opinion on this probably. So it's okay though. That's how I feel. And that's how I'm living my life. And I don't think anything's wrong with Gina. Travis obviously doesn't have an issue with it. you know, what would you do if you get married, Carlos? Are you leaning more towards I would sign a prenup, or are you leaning towards
Yes, I would. It would go both ways for us. For me, for me, for
so
me.
if,
Number one, I don't.
even if your man has more money than you,
Yeah, no,
want a
because
prenup?
I think the biggest thing that and it wouldn't be anything difficult. It would literally be what you said. I
Yeah,
have this going in, you have that going in, and let's just go.
ours, and that's it.
Right?
Yep.
Um, just because I just think it's for me, I just want to make sure we're in the clear. But when it came to so I'm sorry, my question was after you guys were going through your divorce and after the divorce was finalized, did you feel like your ex did the right thing in terms of giving you what you needed for your children and like it wasn't like
I think that my ex knew that no matter what, I'm not a gold digger, and so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going
got
to
it.
answer your question directly. I'm going to leave it at what, and all I care about was, I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. And I of course respect that. So again, it's one of those things where I do feel like it's individual. One thing I can say to you I don't like that Vicky boyfriend Mike is dangling the carrot of a ring and saying I have it and I'll give it to you when I feel like you're shaping up right. I think that's
I think that was a joke, but that was a really joke that fell on deaf ears. I don't think he probably meant that.
I don't think it was a joke.
What? I was gonna say, what is that? I've
No.
never heard of a guy having a ring unless he's like nervous. Like I've heard of friends that have a ring and they're just like, I want to do it. I just can't figure out the right way. I don't know when. I'm still nervous. I get that. Like, but it's not like he tells his girlfriend, I've got a ring and I'm holding it, that's just, I don't know how to even feel with that.
It's gross. I'm sorry. I think
Mike, I
look,
don't think that he means it. He
I
doesn't
think he
seem like
does
he has
mean
a
it.
mean bone in his body. Oh, do you not like him?
Oh no, no, no! I don't know him. So the thing,
Okay.
well, let me say this: I don't know Heather Dubrow, but I can tell you I have
Okay,
strong
go
feelings
on.
about her. But
Okay.
what I will say, I haven't seen enough of him. Listen, I'm not saying you're wrong. Of course, you see that he could be joking, and I'm not saying he isn't. That couldn't be the case. From my vantage point, I think as a man, when you know that you have a woman and you guys are of a particular age, right?
Mature. We're mature.
Right?
Yeah.
Um, that's not something you do at your big age. It's sort of like this woman clearly is telling you she wants to get married again, and for you to joke about it, and it's what I was surprised was this. As strong as Vicky is, as independent as Vicky is, as much of a mentor to women as Vicky is, I will say this, it surprised me that Vicky Gulbison would accept that.
Well, this is also kind of what I wanted to ask you. Well, I agree with you. I'm not sure why she's accepting it. I think that it is part of the storyline now, though, Carlos. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I feel like we are going to see more of this unpacked. I feel like we're going to, because they played it now, a little bit of the scene of her in Puerto Vallarta talking to her brother about it, or no, in Mexico, talking to her brother about it. And then we saw the scene where she just told the girls and they are like, okay, well, what's that all about? So I feel like there's going to be another scene down the road where we might find out something about it. I like, or that maybe even hear his side. And then we'll be able to go, okay, now I get it. Kind of like the vibrator. Once we understood Carmela's side of it, we then knew, well, okay, this was why. Maybe once we hear his side, we'll understand why. Because I have a big WHY with a big O question mark at the end of it for why.
And to your point, maybe there's a season finale where she gets proposed to. To your point.
I didn't want to go there, but that's what I was kind of thinking. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
thinking
So that's a
maybe
good point to
that's
have.
where it's going. So
Um,
I'm kind of excited to hear that about that and see that. I hope so.
yeah. Let's get to Tamra and Teddy. Teddy's our girl. And it was nice to see her back on the screen. By the way, for Teddy to
Oh,
go through what she's been going through, not only with battling cancer, but if you have followed Teddy's story for the past couple of years, she's been very open and honest about all of the treatment she's been enduring
yes.
and the toll it's been taking on her body, her hair loss, her energy, and all those things. She looked so beautiful. It you know, I Carlos King adore me some Teddy Mellencamp. I think she's such a great gal. Um, she admitted to having some form of memory loss, which made me sad to hear that 'cause I wasn't aware of that. And it made me sadder when she said she wonders if she's going to get her fire back. Because you know that girl she's a firecracker, but
Um,
um I just love Teddy and I appreciate it once again seeing that scene between her and Tamara.
Yeah, and I think, Teddy's very vulnerable with her story and very authentic and revealing. Like she tells a lot of things that not everybody would probably share. So, I mean, my heart just goes out to her and even though she doesn't have the fire that she thinks she used to have, I still feel like she's there. Like she's still got some zingers and some funnies and some, and I know it's got to be in her shoes, it's got to be really like the day to day has to get a little bit exhausting mentally and emotionally and all
Mhm.
of that. So, you know, I just always send prayers their way and she's funny and even though she's kind of like, I got mad at her season 18 when I went back because she was really brutal to me and she was my friend. Like we flew to somewhere together. I forget where now, but anyway, and it was like we saw Janet Jackson together. But and we just totally like became friends and then she really bagged on me during season 18 and I was like that is so I got mad and then once I started potting with you it's like you can't take it personal. It's just like she's just
Yeah.
recapping the scenes and that's what she kind of talked to me. We've worked a little bit together since then and that's kind of what she just told me. She's like I just was recapping the scenes. It wasn't personal to you. It's just what came across in the scene. I'm like, but you have you could have texted me. You could have called Tamara or called me and asked me what the truth is about the whole thing, but anyway, love
Yeah.
her. Love
Yeah,
her.
no, love her, love her, love her. And in this scene too, we were able to hear Tamara's POV in regards to
Yeah.
dealing with these girls last season while her best friend, which by the way, this made me want to cry too, when Tamara said, I finally found my best friend for life, and then this happens to her. Which goes to show you that to be Tamara Judge on this show where you're always entering a situation where they're not really your friends. And
Hmm.
you have this, it must be the strangest mind fuck that at your job, it's a job for you now. Like these aren't your friends. And again, I'm not speaking for Tamara. I'm speaking on
As a
being
cast
a
member,
yeah, and,
any
and
cast
and
member.
being a viewer. Like this is what I'm seeing,
Oh,
and to see that Teddy is her best friend and to see a different side of Tamara in that moment really goes to show you, like, no, this is her best friend. And it made me also understand what Tamara's going through as well, because seeing Vicky have the Tres Amigas dinner, I'm going to say this, and Alexis, you don't have to say anything because I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable
okay.
situation.
Well, just know that I am friends with Vicky and friends with Tamara, so it's going to be really hard for me to. Okay, but go ahead. I'm
Okay.
going to be very objective, though. I still am going to be objective about the scene, but go ahead.
Yeah. Um, these ladies don't appreciate Tamra Judge. And I miss the fire Tamra has. And I feel like when she was fired and wasn't on the show for 2 years, they all knew the show was not good. And I'm not excusing Tamra's behavior. I have also on this podcast called out Tamra when she was extremely messy to Shannon. I told Tamra, I literally told Tamra personally, I don't like it when you call Shannon a drunk. That season, when you say you're drunk, I said, Tamra, I don't like it. She gave me her reasons. I respected it, but I was honest with my girl saying, I don't like it. I
Yeah,
think I think it's
you
nasty.
you
So
were.
I'm not here excusing her behavior over the years. What I am saying is watching Vicky try to mediate a conversation between Shannon and Tamra where they both did something wrong. I feel like as I feel like in totality, we have to start respecting our villains and we have to start protecting them as well because Tamra is fantastic television. And my concern for this season is I'm going to get a watered down Tamara because these girls are so sensitive that they don't mind talking shit about her behind her back, but they also don't appreciate that Tamara Judge helped us get another season when you guys wanted Heather Dubrow to come back and be the face of the show, and that was a flop. And then you had another season where nothing was happening, and when Tamara came back, she brought life into the show. She breathed life into the show, and I just feel like some of those girls are so unappreciative of. Could she be a bitch? Sure. Is she sometimes takes us too far? Sure. But one thing I will say about the Atlanta Housewives working with them, they always appreciated Kenya Moore. Because they all said to me, all
Ah,
of them said to me, all of them said this to me,
ah.
that Kenya Moore is necessary for this show. And although we may not always agree with her or even like her, we will never, ever, ever believe this show can work without her.
So they respected her. They respected her, what she brought to the show.
Yes, and these girls don't respect what Tamara brings to the show. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, I'm not interested in watching a watered down Tamara Judge on my screen.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. But so I'm in a no-win situation with this scene, Carlos, right? When I was watching it, I'm like, how am I gonna how do I eat real? I'm in a no-win because, I really don't like to talk about Shannon at all, as we all know. And Vicky and Tamara are both my friends. But here's I'm gonna give it to you. Okay.
Okay.
And I just want everyone to keep the precursor to this is that I'm literally just trying to recap a show here and tell my feelings about what I saw on TV. It could be Lucy, Joy, and Ethel. Okay, it could be those three girls, and I'm just giving my scene on what I saw. Okay, my take on what I saw. So first of all, you're right, 1,000,000%. I was like, why is Vicky so like? Why don't you just say you're sorry, Tamara? Why don't you just do that? Has everyone forgot the last like 8, 10 years we've watched and what Shannon has done to Tamara? Why does she just get a hall pass? We all know she's permanent victim. Like she's got a big V on her forehead. We know that. We get that. It's apparent she's not strong enough to be a strong leader like Tamara is. We get that. However, there is two in this pot that tangoed to make the friendship go downhill. Okay. And I feel like Tamara's even being so kind and stepping back and not even going down the checklist that I know behind scenes also. Yeah. What has happened with those two. So I don't know why Tamara's taking the seat this season the season where she's just like, I'm just going to be so soft and not really go back and rehash all the bullshit that's happened to me from the other one. Okay. And so that bothered me. But at the end of it, though, Carlos, you have to look at it and go, they all kind of were laughing at the end. And so are we going to see them kind of be able to film together? Because that's all I really want. If they're going to be on a show,
Hmm.
if you're going to be castmates, you can't do what Shannon did last year, which is completely ignore Tamara and not make for good TV. You just look like an idiot. It's like just
Hmm.
at least have some kind of something, And at the party, Heather's Valentine party, completely ignored her. It's like you have to work with the girl, and you can't ice her out because you ain't got that much, clout. But so I don't know. I just feel like I'm happy that the scene ended the way it did, and that there might be a chance now that they're all going to be able to film together.
The thing is this, Tres Amigas was Tres rushed. It was, it was very, I feel like I was watching Rush Hour with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. I'm like, here's the deal. To me, as a producer, I smelled the producer telling them, get over it. We need y'all to film together this season. They did not resolve anything. I'm sorry, I got to call it out.
Oh.
They did it. The reason why the scene felt soulless is because, to your point, we know how this works. They cannot move on for the rest of the season being at odds, and I get that. But what I wanted to at least see was, even if the scene took up half the episode, I, as a viewer since season three, when Tamara started, I, as a viewer, um, would
The
have
hair
a.
flip. He just flipped his hair that he doesn't have. Bald guy just did the hair flip.
I didn't start watching OC till season three when Tamara started, and when Tamara told Gretchen, "Honey, hold on to your daddy, girls. There goes Gretchen." Anyways, whatever. I digress. My point is this: happy 20th anniversary. Okay. The thing is this: I, as a viewer, would have appreciated 15 minutes of them really hashing it out,
Yeah, like get
really going,
deeper. Yeah.
yes, it
Yeah,
was
pop the
soft.
zit. Pop the zit and get it all out. All
Get
of
it
it.
all out.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Get
100%.
it. I
Maybe that's
knew.
the buildup. Maybe now Shannon and Tamra will sit down and have a little bit more of a, okay, look, we put the Band-Aid on. Now let's take the Band-Aid off and talk about it to I want to, I hope she does. I'll have to ask her, but I don't know. I don't know if she did or not. I hope
I
that
don't
they
know, but I
go
will
back and
say
forth.
this to you. It makes me sad because look, Shannon is not innocent, and I'm not. What I'm not going to do is go backwards and remind people of all the crazy things Shannon has done. Y'all know she's done it. A lot of y'all choose to ignore it, and that it is what it is. Y'all choose to ignore what she does on camera and behind the scenes, allegedly. What I'm here to say is Tamra is at fault, but fuck, so is Shannon. Like, we're not gonna make it seem like the one thing Tamra does do, unlike Shannon, Tamra calls it out and says to your face. And what I will also say is this: I really wanted that scene to talk about Alexis. Tamra saying, "When I got fired, you stopped contacting me."
Oh, there's a whole list. That's what I was going to say. Has everybody, honey, there's a laundry list. So I don't know why Tamara's sitting back and not saying anything and not sticking up for herself. I truly do feel like Tamara got so beat down last season, that she just is like over it all. I really do feel like, and maybe, and you're going to be sad if it's watered down, and so's America. So maybe then she'll get her fire back. I don't know. I don't know. But you're right.
I don't know
Why
either.
is everyone forgetting everything? It's like, only person that's a bad guy is Tamra. It's so not true. So not
Yeah,
true. All those
yeah.
women have things that they've done. We all do. When you're on a TV show, you always F up. You do.
100%. 100%. So again, Tres Amigas, I'm happy y'all are back together. I don't buy the authenticity of it for a bit. I think it's performative. I think they all understood we need to move forward for the show. And
Right.
while I can appreciate that as a producer, what I don't appreciate is I did not get a scene that really spoke about the history of their issues and really see them go through the pain of getting to a resolution.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was cheated as a viewer with that.
You thought it was inauthentic, is what it is. You felt like
Oh,
it was just to make the producers happy and the network happy and then move on. Like it's
yeah,
like, okay, girls, we did it. We laughed at the end. Okay, check that off the
yeah,
list. And let's go back to hating each other, kind of thing.
yes, yes.
Well, as long as we get a couple good scenes out of it, that's all I care.
Well, I do
We
too.
know they're
Listen,
never
this
going to be friends
episode,
again.
because again, and I'm going to end by saying this. Um, Unpopular opinion, who cares? I really have enjoyed the last couple of seasons of OC. I never for a second thought the show was dark. I always thought the show was interesting because, sorry, I always thought the show was interesting because it was real women having real conversations and really calling each other out. And yes, having fun moments too. I just want to see that come back to this show. And I'll just end by saying that.
Well, I thought I was just happy to have Vicky back because there's going to be some more levity in the show because she is levity, and she's authentic levity, unlike some people that are acting to see if they can make America laugh, which is obviously flopping. But Vicky definitely is like just funny who she is. I mean, and even when she's not taping, how there's characters that are some way on camera and then off camera they're totally different. No, what you see with Vicky is what you get. She is the exact same person as it is if you just go have dinner with her. I mean, we were in my roles one day. We were going a decade ago. We're going down LA, going to somewhere, and I forget. I think she was with Brooks, and I was with Jim at the time. And we have a driver, and she's literally out the window going, "Woohoo, we're in LA!" And I'm looking at her like, "You are just seriously a hoot." Like I was dying.
I love her. I love her.
She's
I
the
love
same.
her.
She's the same. She doesn't act on camera. She's just a funny person. So I was glad to
Well,
have her
look,
back.
we're both happy Vicky is back. So Raindrops and Kimberly Ann, let us know your
Aw.
thoughts on Tres Amigas. Do you think it was genuine or do you think it was we have to move forward for the show? Let us know in the comments. Alexis and I will be back to recap episode 4. of season 20 Real Housewives of Orange County. My beautiful Alexis, have a great weekend.
You too.
And I'll
Bye.
see you soon. Bye, baby. Bye.